Welcome back to my channel, guys. Today we're going to review Veracity. So this is a top-down view of the project. You can see most of the stuff is green. I think it's a pretty healthy project. General top-down view is that there's a lot of healthy things about it. You're not early with social media. It has had aggressive price movements relative to other cryptos, so that is a cautionary tale. And it is fully centralized. Regarding its governance, how decisions are made. And, other things are healthy. What problem market does this project currently solve or serve? It is a rewards-based platform for esports gaming and video entertainment. Proprietary tech, unique rewards for gamers, viewers, and publishers. Users generate, e-prize tournaments, there's prizes from tournaments, etc. Monetization of content via ad services with proof of view. I'll get into that in a minute. NFT marketplace for game publishers, support 2 million video publishers with their software development kit, which is, software development kit being they offer software services for video platforms so that they can, create another incentive and they can use valid verification processes for who is viewing videos and who isn't. Based on some of the research that I put in, eliminates ad fraud with proprietary tech, increased video revenue for video publishers. Ads become, confident that they are paying for actual view. So the ads will pay 5 to 10 times more when they know that there's anti-fraud in there. Detecting fraud as it happens, unlike other mechanisms, can detect bots in real time. I think that they use an artificial intelligence or some algorithms to do this, and that is their patented technology. And so the revenue comes from these things. Okay, so monetization of content, views. Okay, so some of the perspective on what's going on here. Viewers don't want to pay ads, and advertisers don't want to pay for ads either if they're not getting real views. So fake views is really a bad thing. I'm going to go into a little bit of what proof of view is, and then I'll just give you the summary of what Veracity really is. So proof of view, is public audible logs, may have data associated with views, recommendations, anonymized user information, and other data points. So these are some of the metrics that they can use for their artificial intelligence or their algorithm-based assessment of whether views are valid. And then this data goes in the remarkable tree of views, or basically a blockchain. And so that is where you're getting this blockchain idea. Users and third parties can review data, transparency, accountability, and build systems on top of it. Okay, so the basic summary of everything I just said. Veracity is a company wrapped around a blockchain that stores and automates viewer and provider interactions. So what am I saying here? It's basically, so what is the blockchain use? Remember I said blockchains do not need to be decentralized. They can be run by centralized entities. And what blockchains allow for is automation of anything with a value. And so in this case, views are the thing of value, and that is where the thing of value is getting put into the blockchain. So, when people tell you that blockchain doesn't have any purpose, they are clueless, because blockchains are perfect for handling anything of value, small things of value, big things of value. And what they offer is tamper-proof databases for automating actions of these valuable components. Okay, so that is the summary. So I'm going to get into what we expect from the price action. So future increase in value of the token, a future demand increase. I do think that is the case. I think it might get price FOMO in the future. Now, regarding the social media, you are not early. It is a well-known project. Regarding the roadmap is pretty good. They have a partner with Brightcove. Brightcove is ticker BCOV. Revenue is 197 million. Market cap 300 million. Online video platform PDE is 55 right now, which is kind of high, which means it's priced for growth. It's an NFT marketplace. So what's happening on their timeline here? So this is the next year, and I put that they're just building out services for Brightcove and some other things. But that's the stuff that's of notice, of value. I think is that for the next year or so, you can expect them to be building out those services as well as the NFTs in Q3 of this year. And remember, there could be delays. A lot of the time, I do see delays in these things. So what do we expect from a price performance in the next year? I think that you might get some action, like around this time, as they're rolling out services for Brightcove. So that it could get price action in the 3 to 12 month range. From their services that they're building this year. At some point, some building out services for Brightcove could create price action. And then they have single sign at the end of the year. I don't expect them to get it in the year. They say Q4, but, I never expect developers to actually deliver on time. But they might because, they have a record for delivering, and et cetera. So having single sign across products, that could be very bullish for price. So I think towards the end of the year, towards the end of this year, I do think that this could have price performance by the end of the year, basically. Okay, so that's the timeline. Money needed to move, price up, decrease. I do think that's the case. Now, this has a burn mechanism, fees that burn tokens. So that is a dividend when you do something like that. And that is a tax-free dividend. I love burning tokens. I think burning tokens is better than a dividend because it's tax-free dividend for holders, for people who hold the token. So because it leads to probability of price increase, and that price increase, as long as you don't sell or trade, is tax-free. So that is why burn mechanisms are better than dividends, because dividends get taxed, whereas burn mechanisms do not. So tax-free dividend, great. And that also means the token supply distribution doesn't matter because it will converge on P to E ratios of that, the time value of money. Based on whatever the revenues are. So you can expect that it will be roughly tied to whatever they do in revenues that enters the platform. So long as the people are honest. And I will say, because this is centralized, you are trusting the team. This project is a trust-based project. You trust the team to execute as they're saying. And so the biggest element here in whether or not you think this is going to do well is not only the market opportunity, but also whether or not the team will actually execute on paying, burning, etc. Now, regarding the price action, it is performed significantly better than the average crypto. So that's why I put it as red, because that could be cautionary. It might return to the mean. It might not. All of crypto is going to perform really well, I do think. So when you outpace crypto, you're typically growing really fast. So that could be negative or positive depending on how you see it. It is relatively low market cap. Fully diluted is about 509 million. So that's that's not small, but that's not super big either. Exponential growth. This was harder for me to assess. Main page has 500,000 viewers, but regarding their other things, I was looking in the metrics and I didn't see it was difficult for me to assess if they're getting exponential adoption or not. But as far as having a live niche on Verasports.com and ad fraud, they do have these live things, so that means that they have a live product, and that is always good for a project to have. Now, whether the token is used for services or governance, so the token is needed for access. You earn incentives, entry fees for tournaments. And basically, it is access to the services. Advertisers fund Veracity to increase viewers. They might create incentive things for viewers to come and view stuff, their ads. Now, one thing I will say is if you're paying someone to view ads, are they really going to accept the content? Are they really going to, really... If the ads are relevant, absolutely. You got to correlate relevance. I'll buy something from an ad if I think... that it's, something relevant to me, like the Aura Ring, for instance. I really like biometric data, and when I get an ad from Aura Ring, I see it, I'm like, I'm more likely to buy that product. But if it's something off, it doesn't matter if someone paid me to view the ad or not, I'm not going to buy the product. So, but they, will pay for, they can create incentives for you to watch the ad in the first place. So that could be useful if it's, relevant or whatever. More viewers, more revenue for this platform. So you want them to get a lot of views. Random amount of ad revenue. Oh, and the token is bought back from the market and burned from revenues. So that is a powerful thing that correlates to the token. But I will say the token has no governance. This is centralized. The team controls everything. They are the dictators, so to speak. Now, value of the target market, fraud and ads is about $150 billion market. But, it could be bigger than that because they automate a lot of these things. And if you can really provide authentic views, that could be a powerful technology. So it's a very large market opportunity. And this thing is, 500 million fully diluted. So, let's just say if it was 1 billion, that could be, if it got like 80% of the market, that could be an 80x and potential, for the market size. So yes, there's plenty of room. Even if it had competitors, even a 50x or a 40x, would be still pretty good. Now regarding governance, the significant increase in ad revenue. So their vision is the significant increase in ad revenue and engagement of video platforms. So that is the service they're providing. Veracity team establishes competitiveness. Now, degree of decentralization, as I said, is low. But they do plan on the migrate, but that could be, who knows how long that'll be. From one of the source videos, one of the team members, I think it was the marketer, said, they'll figure that out in the future. Regarding the... So once again, like as I said, this is centralized, so it's extremely important that you trust the team. That's basically what these things are saying. Requires trust, high quality actions. I do think a team that's that's building around something will make high quality actions. So evidence that the management is trustworthy. So like I said, this is extremely important. Now I put the CEO as, intermediate. They have a long time in the relevant, the team does. This is not just the CEO. This is also for the team. They have a lot of relevant backgrounds in this services that this is providing, so that is good. Like regarding video streaming technology, etc. They have patents in proof of view, so their artificial intelligence, their algorithm-based assessment of view, making authentic views is a big plus. But they do have no billion-dollar startups in their background, so there's that risk. Is they've never delivered a billion-dollar startup in their past, so this might be their first one, obviously, and but they do have patents, etc. I saw that they're fairly consistent, but there wasn't a lot on them that I could find. Remember that it's important that this team is trustworthy, so that could be one of the risk factors. I saw that several of their interviews, and they make some claims, but I didn't put that they're wealthy because, they could make a lot of their wealth from this. And one of the fears that I have as an investor is if someone is making their wealth for the first time, they might run off because, they made so much money and, they're done with making money. But, they've been working for a while. They seem disciplined. So it seems like, they'll be there to deliver. All right, strategic partnerships, as I said, Bright Core. Now, these are some of the customers of Bright Core, that you have, like NBC News, some of these, the Fox, some of the major, you can see them here, some of the major companies, Showtime, etc. And so, these guys might want to enter the online space in the future. All right, strategic partners, yeah, so that's good. I put that as good. Okay, so moat, proof of view, patents, these things are not so relevant, like these feedback loops or mentioned by competitors. Best of the competition. I just said that they, that because they have proof of view, that they are. Okay, and developer experience, all of these, it's like a traditional company, so you're going to have developer motivation and experience, network effect, delivering for user experience, all of these things are just relevant to decisions made by hiring teams, etc. So being derived from the team. First movers, Theta, I think, is the competitor, one of the competitors, and I'd have to look at how they verify views again. It's been a while since I've looked at their project. But, regarding all these things, I think that they could be very capture a large amount of the first mover market share for validation of views, because they've been doing this and they've been developing for a decent amount of time. So it shows that they're disciplined and they're going to keep moving. So tokens per person, the decrease, I do expect that the case. And relative low value to market, to the amount of people that have tokens is pretty low. High value upgrades, expect that to be the case. Value of services to increase, expect that to be the case. Major onboards, they've had, some major, like super big, but, you can see from the customers of their partnerships that it's, I consider it a major onboard. Large business models, the demand token to reflect their needs, I put that as yes. On the spectrum, I put it as, they'll have a customer relationship. These large businesses will be the customers and buying the Veracity token for their services. Okay, I think I covered everything. So regarding the team, it's just basic information on their background, systems and methods for providing enhanced walkthroughs. Just providing these tools for proof of view, proof of walkthroughs, streaming content, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that just their various backgrounds was all relevant. And that's basically the assessment you can get from their team members. For this, that they had the relevant background, and I thought that was good. Okay, so I think that is a run through of that. So final summary, low market cap with accomplished CEO, I put no. Early social media, no. But live niche, yes, they have a live niche. Pros and cons, large market opportunity. They do have a potential several X's for them if they are successful. The team has experience in correct fields. Somewhat small cap, yeah, so this isn't super small, but it's not super big either. And buy and burn mechanism, which I'm a big fan of because that is a tax-free income from probabilistic outcomes of increase in token value. And the cons, not early to social media, and it is centralized. I mean, that could be seen as a con or a pro. I've invested in several centralized things before. I could even probably remove that, but you do. I put it as a risk because it was. I couldn't tell if these guys are, all-stars, so to speak, because they didn't start up billion-dollar companies in the past. But it is the success of this heavily depends on the core team. And, that's where the biggest, whether they can execute, whether they can get those partnerships, whether they can get those signups and deliver this is all up to them. It's not like a community-based thing, like a blockchain that's like a hive mind. This is a centralized team. So it's like you're investing in a company. So it comes down to them. So that, so it depends on them. And that isn't really the biggest risk. All right, guys. So that is my summary of this project. I think it's interesting. I do think it is, an interesting project. So, but I try to make these things as unbiased as possible. I try to deliver accurate information. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys later.